and welcome to the Graphic 45 YouTube channel. My name is Lynn, or LV Handcrafted, here on YouTube, and today I am going to level up the Grow with Love card kit. And if you don't get the card kits, I think this one still is available, so you can pick it up from Graphic 45, and you would get all of the supplies that you need to make a set of really fun 6x6 cards. And even if you don't get the card kits though, or if you don't subscribe to the monthly kits, what I think is really wonderful is that Graphic 45 makes these inspiration project sheets available to you, and you can actually download it for free and then just craft with what you have. So I think it's really great that they make that as a resource. Just check the Graphic 45 website for the inspiration project sheets. Now, the card that I'm going to make, it's still a very simple card, but it takes your sweet and simple card up a notch. And you may already be familiar with where I'm headed with this card, but this is going to be a joyfold card, which is kind of like two cards in one. And what I love about using the joyfold card mechanism is that it's really fabulous when you want to showcase a lot of really pretty pattern papers, because there's a lot of space to decorate on this card because, like I said, it's pretty much two cards in one. Now, I'm going to give you the dimensions for what I ultimately went with. What I have cut and what you see on screen here is slightly different to where I eventually landed. So let me give you the measurements. For the larger card base, you want to cut a piece that's 6 inches tall by 9 inches wide, and you want to score it at 3 inches. And for the smaller card, you want to have a piece that is 8.5 inches wide by 5 inches tall, and you want to score that along the 8.5 inch edge at 4 1/4. So again, the larger piece is 9 inches wide by 6 inches tall, and along the 9 inch edge, you want to score at 3. The smaller, kind of the mini card, as I'll call it, is 8.5 wide by 5 inches tall, and you want to score that along the 8.5 inch edge at 4 1/4. And so here's what I mean. The one I ultimately ended up using is this one here. It's the one where the flap that's still visible from the card front, it's exactly half of our 6x6 card. And originally, the reason why I cut the other one the way I did was to make an efficient use of a US letter size sheet of cardstock. But ultimately, it depends on your aesthetic and what looks good to your eyes, but I rather like the look of the card having that front panel being exactly half the width of the card. So that's why I recut that initial piece. And so now comes the fun part of decorating. So I cut my mats and layers from the main paper collection, but of course you could use a combination of, and I think I do. I think one of these sheets is from the Patterns and Solids. You could use solid color cardstock as well if you wanted to decorate some of these panels. I always feel like the Graphic 45 papers are so well designed, especially if you do pick up the Patterns and Solids. I don't often use straight solid color cardstock. I much prefer to use the Patterns and Solids because they aren't strictly like a flat solid. Even their solids have a bit of texture to them, which still gives some visual interest to those panels, which I really love. And so you're going to see me really kind of use pattern paper everywhere on this joyfold card. And it's one of the reasons why I really like this style of card for when I make cards with graphic 45 papers, because look at all the opportunities for you to use different patterns on this card. So it's really fun for that reason. And what I've done, I tend to like my mats and layers to be 1/4 of an inch smaller in both the height and the width. So for the mini card here, this mini card measures folded 4 1/4 wide by 5 inches tall. So my pattern papers have been cut to 4 inches wide by 4 3/4 tall. Then for the larger 6x6 card base, the yellow sheet of cardstock that has been cut to, or pattern paper I should say, that's been cut to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And then the floral lavender pattern paper has been cut to, now this one I only left a margin visible of the white card base on the left-hand side. So this one measures 2 7/8 by 5 3/4 tall. And once I have that kind of foundation layer of pattern paper, I am going to start to decorate my card. And there's so many places to decorate on this card. So again, it's a really great style of card if you have a lot of different components that you can decorate with. For example, the rectangle pieces that I have here, including this lovely one that has the sentiment, "Friends are flowers in the garden of life." Those are from the cut apart page pattern that is in the paper collection. And as well, I've got my pile of ephemera off to the left here. So I'm going to use some various different elements from the ephemera pack, including there are these really lovely little butterflies, which I think are really, really sweet. The thing that I noticed about the Grow with Love ephemera pack is that there are some pieces that are really larger than what I feel like I'm used to seeing in these ephemera packs. So I really love that. I feel like if you, for example, do 12 by 12 scrapbooking, those larger pieces are going to be great. And as well, if you tend to like to make larger cards, like your 6x6, 8x8s, 5x7, etc., those larger elements are really wonderful. For me, though, on this card, even though the card is still 6x6, I'm decorating this mini card panel in the front here. So I'm gluing everything to just that smaller green panel, which measures 4 1/4 wide by 5 inches tall. So it's even smaller than a USA 2 size card. And so I had to kind of fish out the smaller ephemera pieces, of which there are plenty. So I do love the fact that there's quite a bit of variety in the ephemera pack. And what I'm going to do is use a combination of low profile foam and some 3D glue gel to give some of these elements some lift and some dimension. Now, as you're gluing things down to this mini card, as I've been calling it, you can glue things so that they hang off of that left-hand edge, because it's still going to stay within the confines of your 6x6, the larger 6x6 card base. However, you do want to make sure that on the right-hand edge that you don't glue anything off the edge there, because we have a fold there and this card needs to open from that side. So if anything was glued where it actually hung off this little panel on the right, when you go to open it, it's going to inhibit you from opening it a little bit, and then if you force it, it's going to end up folding that bit of ephemera or whatever it is that you've hung off of that edge. So on the right hand side, you definitely want to make sure that you stay within the confines of that panel. But on the top, the left, and the bottom, you can have your elements extend off of those borders if you want, or off of those edges, which I always find is kind of nice because then, it sort of softens those hard lines a little bit. And then flipping to the inside, again, lots of space to decorate here. So I've taken one of the larger pieces of ephemera and I've glued that to, just that half card front of the 6x6 card base. And I've trimmed off some of the ephemera here. So I just cut these flowers in half and I'm going to glue them down onto this inner panel here. And this is where you could maybe leave some space to write a message. I've used a darker panel here, so when I go to sign this card, I might sign it with, say, a white gel pen. But if you didn't have that, what you could do is just glue a bit of white cardstock on that panel so that you have a place to write. Or you can even glue a white panel onto the right hand side after you open it up and have your space to write a personal message there. So here's a final look at my Joy Fold card, which is a bit of a leveled up version of the Grow with Love Sweet and Simple card set that is part of the card kit. And it's just really fun, and as you saw, very easy to create this, but it's a card that just kind of keeps on revealing itself as you open these various flaps. So I hope that you have enjoyed my project today, and do check out the project inspiration sheet for the Grow with Love card kit if you want to see the original 6x6 cards that inspired my card today. Thanks again, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye!